Okay, lot game. Let's start with Las Vegas. It's been a long time since I don't touch a controller, bro. Okay, I'm recording this on PC, but it's basically the same for PS5. Okay, I will apologize beforehand for my crappy English, but I hope you understand what I'm talking about. I hope my English is clear enough for that. Okay, let's go. In this video, I will show you how to proper clip out of bounds using swim clipping. I will be using cheat engine just to make things easier for me. Don't use cheat engine to cheat, bro. This is for research purposes. Places, main game. Sea of Sands, okay. Primary palm. I guess this is the secondary palm. I'm gonna show you right here because this spot is easier than the other one. But you can do it in both of them. I will showcase in several spots so you can see that you can clip out of bounds basically anywhere you can find two objects opposite one each other. So as long as you find a spot where these conditions are met, you can not only clip out of bounds but clip through a solid object. Walls are especially easier because they are flat surfaces. You can clip out of bounds through rocks, but the problem with rocks is that they are like hollow objects, and when you clip through the surface of the rock, you end up being trapped inside the rock. So it's really very difficult to clip through rocky walls because of that. But if you find any flat surfaces like this wall or any other surfaces, like any other wall, and you find an opposite object, you can clip through it. So how do you do it? Okay. In this case, the opposite object is this like pipe. This is the opposite object, and the object that we want to clip through is this wall. This one. So what we are going to basically try to do is position Aloy in this way. Like look at this. You see that? I'm moving my left stick right now to make her do this. You see? Let's do it again. You position yourself and then you move your left stick to the left so she does this. You see? And like that she's clipping like half of his body through the wall. But that by itself is not enough for her to fully clip through. We have to be sure that some portion of her head clips through the wall. And that's where the opposite object comes into place. Because that opposite object will push you through the wall and force Aloy to clip through the wall. Try to squeeze her into a really tight corner or space or wherever, so her full body clips through the wall. Now I'm pushing my left stick up. She's pushing against this tight space between the wall and the dock. So doing that motion up, and then you turn her body to the left, and she will clip through the wall even further, like this. See? You almost clip through the wall, but that by itself is not enough. That's where the dodging comes into place, because you have to push even further, and you do that by just dodging against the solid object that is opposite to the wall. In this case is this pipe. So you want to be doing this, like pushing up just with your left stick. Then let me move the camera so it's clearer. Okay, like this. You push up with your left stick like this, then you turn to the left and she almost clips through, but at the same time you dodge against the pipe doing that motion, and she will get pushed through the wall like this. See? It happened really fast, but that's the motion you want to do. Let me teleport once more. Okay, back again here. How I do this somehow consistently. Myself, I just do what I told you. Just doing this with the camera, not moving at all. Pushing up and then dodging and then moving the left stick to the left. But at the beginning, how I learned this trick was by moving the camera itself. Because when you move the camera, something will happen. Like, let's position Aloy here. When you move the camera to the left, not the left stick, but the right stick, you have to move the camera to the opposite direction of the object you want to clip through. In this case, we want to clip through this wall, so I have to move the camera in opposite direction. In this case, it's to the left. When you do that and you push against the wall, she will actually turn. You see? I'm gonna move it to the right and she's gonna turn to the right. Let's see. She turns to the, or to the left in this case. What I'm trying to say is that you can control this direction of Aloy's legs by moving the camera. Let's do it again. See, you push against the wall with your left stick and then you move the camera one side or the other and she will do this. So at the beginning I just did that trick by moving the camera. Like I did the same. I push against it, against the tight space, then I dodge against the wall, and then I just move the camera to the opposite direction of the wall. In this case, to the left. So let's see how that works. You do this and you move the camera to the left like this, and see, she had clipped through because she did the same. What she did in this case was this. She did this. I push her against the wall and she did this. See? I push it against the wall and when I turn the camera, she made this motion. This motion. Again, we push her. Let me move the camera so it's clear for you to see. Move to push her there, and she did this. She turned to the right. We achieved that by moving the camera like this. See? She clipped through. The whole point is that she has to do this motion, okay? Against the solid object you wanna clip through. So you can try doing both ways. You can do it by moving the camera, because moving the camera in the opposite direction to the object, the wall, makes her turn around like this. Like this. That's what you want to achieve. You want to put her in that position. That's the whole point. But you have to put her in that position while at the same time you are pushing against the wall by dodging against the pipe. Okay? Or the opposite object. So I'm gonna do it again, but this time with the other method, without moving the camera, but moving my left stick. So she does this, okay? Again. Let me position the camera so you can see it clearly. The camera position in this case doesn't matter too much. You can do it where you are here. You can do it where you are here. You can do it while you are here. It doesn't matter. The point is that she has to turn around like this. You see? She has to do that. It doesn't matter the position of the camera. I'm controlling the position of the camera so you can see clearly what's happening, but it doesn't matter at all. So, I mean, moving the camera makes it easier, of course, but that doesn't have any kind of effect other than moving her in the right position, like this, you see? And I discovered this by accident because someday that shit happened to me. Like I was just dodging against it, and then I turned around by accident and she clipped through. Like it happened by accident. So it's really easy to do when you understand what's happening, which is basically that she's turning around like this while she's pushing against the solid object. Okay? So again, I position the camera. Again, doesn't matter in this case. It's just for you to clearly see what's going on. Okay, that's a good position. Then I put myself here, I dodge against it, and I turn around. And she clips through. Because the opposite object pushed her against the wall. and makes it clip through. Okay. I'm gonna show a couple more examples just to show you that this is not like a particular spot where this happens. It happens anywhere where two objects are in opposite directions, and also that object kind of locks you in place, because there's other places where you can have two opposite objects, but when you dodge against the opposite object, it doesn't keep you in place, and you just keep swimming through it, and it doesn't work like that. That the opposite object has to have like some rough edges in order for it to lock you in place while you are doing this. The opposite object has to lock you in place for you to like pivot against it, and then the collision of the opposite object will push you against it, right? That's how it works. Let's go to another spot. Okay, here's another spot where I like to clip out of bounds because it makes it easier. And is this pipe here. I'm gonna show you how it works in this case. Again, the opposite object is this kind of pipe, or I don't know what it is, and the object that we want to clip through is this wall. So you do the same motion. You push against this tight corner or this tight space between the pipe and the wall, and then you turn around like this, and she clips through. You see? It's that easy. You don't have to do anything. Just push against it, then turn around, and she will clip through. And this particular pipe has some rough edges in it that locks me in place when I do this. See? Because not all the places have that. I mean, you can do it anywhere, but in some places it's harder. That's the point. For example, here I think, see? I clip through it. I mean, I directly swim through it, and it doesn't lock me in place. So it has to be something that locks you in place. So this particular pipe, this has these rough edges that locks me in place, and it makes it really easy to clip through, right? Now, why you are not clipping through? Because you are not dodging. That's where dodging comes in place. You have to dodge against the object and then do that motion. Again, let's do it. See? I'm out of bounds. Just like that. And it's very consistent. Of course, when you're nervous and you're speedrunning, sometimes you screw up, but it's really consistent when you know how to do it exactly. Okay? Let me show you another example. Let me go to the fine station spot. Alright, here we are out of bounds already, but what I'm showing you now is that you can clip in bounds again using the same principle. See? She's already clipped through it. Because the point is put her in that position, and then you can clip wherever you want. I mean, we don't use this because when we are speedrunning or doing the actual quest, here is a door, and you can clip through objects using interaction points, like the door in this case. Now, I'm gonna show you several ways to clip through things. I'm gonna show them because maybe they will be useful in the future, but they are useless right now. Because swing clipping is not the only way to clip through things. Swing clipping makes it easier because Aloy is already in a horizontal position like this, right? Like this, like she's right now, and it makes it easier to clip through things because half of her body already clips through by just moving your left stick. So it's really easy. But this is possible even without water. That's what I'm gonna show you right now.
I'm not seeing another way into the ruin.
Where are you going? I can't fly this thing.
Don't worry. I get sick up here too.
Alright. Here we are here.
Oh no.
Let me wait for it to clip through so it's more... It's easier for me to get up.
They're staying firmly on the ground.
To get up, sorry. Because I need to get up for this. Okay. In this particular spot, the conditions that we are looking for are met. It's a tiny space between two opposite objects, and you can almost see the other side of the wall. You can see that? I'm gonna put an arrow there or something in the edition. But you can see the opposite side of the wall. I mean the other side of the wall. Right? And that's because this tiny space is already pushing you against that wall, you see? You see how it's pushing you against it? And now, this kind of particular spaces allows you to clip through things. I'm gonna show you right now. You can see that I can get into that space just by walking. See? I cannot get cannot get in there. And that's where melee attacks come in handy. Because using that you alter Aloy's hitbox. And now you can play with the camera like this, you see? Just like swing clipping. But in these particular cases it's necessary. What you are trying to achieve is make her half of her body to clip through the wall. Okay? So that's how you do this. Again, playing with the left stick, doing this, like what they call the try wiggle. You do this, moving your left stick side to side like this, and you try to make her clip through the wall. And also using melee attacks makes it easier. It's not easy, but makes it easier. This is not consistent at all, of course. What I'm trying to show you is that it's possible. You can do a combination of movements, melee attacks, like with this button. I don't know what it's called. I think it's R1, and this is R2. I mean this one and this one, right? So you can do this. See? That also helps in some situations. The point is that you want to make her get into that spot. Another attack you can do is this one. This sometimes works. It's a heavy attack. But you want to... Ah, there it is. You see? You saw that? You saw that? We are already inside this tiny spot. She's halfway through it, and she got into it using melee attacks. Now when we are in this tiny spot, you can see we are half of the way where we want to be. So that's where the camera movement comes into place. In this particular spot, it's easier to do it in the opposite side. That way. So I'm gonna do it that way. Again, moving the camera, the left stick, left and right, and pushing against the wall, because half of my body is already there, right? Can you see? Half of my body is already clipped through. So I just need to play with the camera to clip through the wall, because right now I'm actually trapped in the... I don't know how it works, to be honest, because I'm not a game developer. But what I'm pretty sure is that right now I'm trapped inside, quote unquote, inside the wall. I'm trapped inside the wall. Even if I wasn't in this tiny space, right now, if I were a little bit further, I couldn't cross neither this side or the other, because I'm trapped right now inside, quote unquote, the wall. So what I want to do now is cross to the other side. And I do it by just moving my camera like this. And pushing against it, of course. See? It's not very clear, but what I'm doing is this. This and this. Okay? This. And there it goes. I'm in the other side of the wall. This not only works when there's water around. When there's water around, it's easier and it's consistent as hell. But it's also possible doing in dry ground. Now, what I was explaining in Las Vegas is that clipping through rocky walls like this one is kind of tricky, because right here you might think that I already crossed to the other side, but that's not correct. I'm trapped inside a rock. You can't see it because it doesn't have textures in this side of the rock, but I'm actually trapped inside a wall. I'm trapped inside a rock. I'm inside this rock because I crossed through one side inside the rock. But now the problem is I don't know how to get out the rock. And that's why clipping through rocky walls it's a complete mess. I don't even try it at all, because getting out from it is really, really hard. In this case, I'm lucky because I can use my Sunwing. I messed up this right here, but if you do it correctly, you can get out using the Sunwing, because the Sunwing can make you clip through a lot of things, as I'm gonna show you right now. Moving on to the Sunwing. Let me activate the mods here. So it will be easier to get out from here, because I don't have a teleportation point to this spot. So I'm just gonna move here and... Alright. Now, using the Sunwing to clip through things, I choose this particular spot because here is a really, really thick wall. This is really, really thick. I'm gonna get off this. Can you see? It's a really, really thick kind of rocky wall. But as you can see at the bottom of my screen, I have available the prompt to mount my mount, right? So if you mount it from here, you clip through the wall, as like this. So this motherfucker here can make you clip through any sort of objects, doors, floors, the ground, ceilings, anywhere where you have this sucker available. If you find a way to make it work, you can clip through things, like in this case. And it's not in this particular spot, it works everywhere. Like anywhere that there's a solid object between you and your mount, you can clip through it. To be honest, I haven't tried with the normal mount, the ground mount. But I just gonna assume that it works the same. Like this. As long as your, in this case your bird, is in reach, you can mount it and clip through things like this. So that is another way where you can clip. I'm gonna show you how to clip inbounds using this sucker again. This is what I call the Ghost Sunwing, because the Sunwing has the same effect as Aloy. He's basically able to clip through solid objects. That's what I call it, the Ghost Sunwing. Okay. Look at this. See? In this particular spot, I don't know why, my head is almost out of the ground. And if I move my camera this way, you can see I'm partially clipping through it. So by pressing R2, when I'm clipping through it, I can do something like this. See? I press R2, and since part of the Sunwing body has already clipped through, he just lands on the ground, clips through it and lands on the ground. And that doesn't work only there. I'm gonna show you another example of this so it makes it clearer. Clipping through horizontal surfaces. This particular spot is under the Londra's headquarters, okay? So in this spot we can do the same as we did just before. Let me see if I can move the camera in the right position so you can clearly see where we are. There it is, there it is, there it is. Okay. You can see on the top of the screen, that's the floor of Londra's headquarters. And it's not really apparent, but there's a collision box right there. And the Sunwing is already clipping through it. So if we press R2 in the right spot, which is almost in the middle of the room, and I guess it's right here. No, it's there. It's here, it's here. This is the middle of the room. And I'm pressing R1, so my Sunwing is flying upwards. And then I press R2 as he was just landing on it, and he will clip through it and then land it on the floor, on the ground. So that's how you clip through horizontal surfaces. As long as the Sunwing is already clipping through it, you can full clip through it using R2 to basically land on it, right? You might be wondering why this is not a skip. It's because there's no way, or at least not right now, there's no fast way to escape this room before opening this door first. So that's why I haven't turned this into a skip. But maybe someday I will be able to do this. Now I'm gonna show you another example by clipping through that roof, okay? Let's get up. Come on, baby. Push, push. Alright. The same principle applies. We press R1 to push ourselves up. Like this. See? He's flying upwards right now. And then I press R2 to land over the roof like this. And we clip through it. That's how it works. From here we can already escape. I mean, fast travel is disabled because I'm in the middle of a quest right now. But if you were right here, you were able to fast travel out. And that's what I call the Sunwing. Here's another example. Now this particular spot, there's a hole in the rock wall. Okay. Just in case you're wondering, I'm at this spot in the map. Oh, let me see, where the fuck am I? Oh, it's here. There's two holes in the wall. There's one there, but this is really hard to get into. There's another one here. And this is just to show you another interesting effect. If you have been out of bounds before, you have noticed that some of the places don't render right away. Like you can see through the walls and stuff until you get close enough to the place to fully be rendered, right? In this in gaming, I think it's called streaming. I guess it's called streaming because it's the engine that is literally streaming the textures and stuff of the places you visit while you are exploring the world. So what I'm trying to say is, in some places like this particular case, some things are not already rendered. Until you get close enough to the particular place, it starts rendering. And if you get with enough speed with the Sunwing into that place, you will be able to cross the walls before they appear, or they are rendered, or they are streamed, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna prove that point right now. I'm gonna fly straight through this wall that is right in front of me, that black box that is there, that's an actual place. So I'm gonna gain speed with the Sunwing, get into that place, and try to get inside before the place actually renders. See? I clip through this corner, and if I move my camera in the right angle, I'll be able to see inside the room. And you can see I'm already inside. And I'm gonna prove it to you with the camera mode. This is the room. And I'm already inside of it. See? And if I move a little bit to the left, I can actually clip inside by getting off this the mount. Let me clip through it. Okay, let's go. See? Now, what happened here is that I get trapped inside the wall. That's what I was talking about with that sometimes you get trapped inside walls, quote unquote inside, because they are flat surfaces, but apparently they have like some kind of a space, programmatically speaking, so you can actually get trapped inside walls like I'm right now. I'm trapped inside the wall. See? It's possible if I had an opposite object in this particular spot, I could get through the wall altogether. But in this case, this is not the case, so I'm trapped. So I messed up my entrance, but this proves that you can clip through solid objects because the places are not fully rendered. So you can like play a race against the engine before it renders solid objects. You can clip through it if you gain enough speed and you are fast enough to cross the collision spot before it appears. I'm gonna show you another example of that. Okay, here we are at the stars in their eyes.
I was relieved. She
Quest.
was leaving for a scouting mission.
Gonna get out of bounds.
Said wanted a break from her.
I get it.
If I can remember where the spot
Not
is.
always easy with my sister either.
I thought
It's
you
here,
said
I
you were
guess.
an outcast.
I only met her recently.
Oh my god, this is my skip and I don't remember where the spot is.
Always full of surprises.
So
huh?
pathetic, man.
I try.
I guess it's this
Point
one.
is, I'm sure your sister will be glad to see you.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's
it's nice of you to
kind of
say.
funny when you forget your own skips. Anyways. Can I use melee attacks to get inside here? You can get inside here, but just crouching. But for me, it's easier using melee attacks. Now, I'm gonna... Oh my god, sorry.
Let's move.
Nothing, forget about it. Okay, I don't know. This is what I'm talking about right here. If you can see, there's a door right there, and there's people right there, and apparently they are floating in the middle of the air, but they are not. There's actually a room there, but since you are far away from it, it's not fully rendered yet. This is what is called streaming in gaming. While you are exploring areas of the map, some things are rendered. Not entire things on the map are already rendered. It's obvious because you have to save resources, right? You can just render the whole map. So not everything is rendered. Things are rendered as you explore the world. And in this particular case, since I'm a little bit far away from the room, I'm in a place that I'm not supposed to be right now. That place is not fully rendered yet. But as I get close to it, you will see that the engine will stream all the solid objects that have to be there when I'm close to it. Like, see? Just magically everything appears. That's what is called streaming. So the engine is streaming the objects while you are exploring the world, right? It's dynamic. So if we get far away from it, it disappears again. So using the Sunwing, we can race against the engine and clip through solid objects before they actually appear or before they are actually rendered. Like this. See? And I'm I'm inside already, so if I get off the mount,
So he
I'm
wants
inside
us
the
to
room.
embrace his light.
And I can actually clip through
Literally.
the ground as well, to the floor. If I do the same, but coming from under this particular area. It's the same thing. It's just easier doing it from the walls than from the ground, but you can clip through the ground as well. Here's another example. There it is. Let's go. I'm gonna take the opportunity to clarify something about this skip. Most of the people skip through there because that's what my video show. That's when I first started to do this skip. They walk through here, they jump, and then they call the mount. But
Let's get going.
the room is over there. Not over there, right? So when you get out of bounds from here, instead of going this way, you want to go that way, because that's a straight line to the actual room. Go this, you call the mount, and there it is. Okay. You waste a couple of seconds doing the other way, so just wanted to clarify that. The other example of the engine streaming is this thing. Here is like, there's another room right here. And the shape of this room is like a cylinder, right? So this spot makes it really easy to show how streaming in this game works, because again, technically speaking, we are not close enough to the room to trigger the engine to render the things, but in reality we are already inside the room, because the room is really tall and we are already inside it, but we are not close enough to the area that triggers the streaming from the engine. So even that we are already technically speaking inside the room, nothing is there. So we get close to this area by getting down with the Sunwing like this. And eventually we reach the point when the engine thinks or already is aware that we are already in the area where it has to render all of this room. So it renders it. But if you pay attention, we are way further already inside this room. We are already inside when we are up there, but we weren't close to the area that triggers the rendering. So using that in our advantage, we can clip through rooms before they are actually appear on the map. Okay? And I'm gonna show you something that has to do with all of this. Here is fine.
What's that sound?
It's a
Okay.
warning, I think.
If I try to fast travel out from here,
Should be safe enough for...
you will see that I can't. Fast travel is disabled. Because programmatically speaking, they put some locks in place in this particular area that prevents you from fast travel to the outside world. So you basically can escape before you like complete the quest. That's the point. But those locks are area restricted, which means that if you get out from the actual area that was programmed to have the locks in, you can bypass those locks. Like again, I can't fast travel from here, but if I get high enough, like I don't remember the exact position, you see that message that appears on the screen? That means that I'm leaving the playing area. That means that I'm already outside this room. Programmatically speaking, of course, physically I'm not already outside, but programmatically speaking, I'm already outside. I have to be... You see? I have to be high enough, but you can fast travel from here because you are, technically speaking, already outside of this area. Right? This particular spot from here is also outside of the area. It's also... You're not supposed to be right here. So from here you can already fast travel. You see? And I'm not showing you this in vain. This leads me to another way of clipping through things, which is invisible walls. Here, right here in front of me, there's an invisible wall. And Aloy is not able to cross it, and I'm gonna show you. See? Try to jump, and there's an invisible wall. And I'm gonna prove to you that it's not a matter of the height. It's not like the wall has a limit. It's an invisible wall. Gonna activate scripts, infinite jumps. This is infinite jump. It doesn't allow me to cross to things or to clip through things, so I cannot cross invisible walls at all. And this is to prove you that. Oh my god, sorry. Let me get it out. There's an invisible. Oh my god, I already crossed the wall. But okay, I'm in the other side of the wall. But my point is that you can cross this wall with Aloy. There's an actual invisible wall there. You just can't cross it. But the Sunwing can. Actually, it's glitched already because I get off the mount on this side of the wall, and it's glitched already. But you saw that I was able to cross it with the Sunwing, which leads me to my next point. The Sunwing can cross invisible walls. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't know how or why, but he can do it. And I'm gonna show you some other examples of that. Alright. Here we are inside Gemini, and the same principle applies. Oh, I'm sorry, forgot I gotta fight. Let's go. I suck at controller because I haven't played with controller in months. But anyways, that's not the point. Here inside Gemini, the same principles apply. You can't fast travel now. See, fast travel is disabled. This wasn't discovered by me. This was discovered by, or I learned it from Kira. So shoutouts to her. We climb here, and now you're gonna see something really interesting. We can call our mount from here. That means that we are high enough, or technically speaking, we are already outside the sun. Okay. And we are high enough for us to be able to call our Sunwing. I have infinite jumps activated, so that's why I'm floating. But I'm gonna show you there's an invisible wall right here. See? Cannot cross it at all. There's an invisible wall here. See? I cannot cross it. But guess who can? Right? And at the beginning, apparently, it cannot cross. But if we keep pushing like this, you will see something with X. I'm pressing X right now, and I'm pushing through the wall, and I'm gonna start something really interesting happening. See? It crossed the wall. There's an invisible wall there. But this sucker managed to cross it. And that's not the only place where it can do that. By the way, you can actually get outside Gemini from here. As you can see, here's the invisible wall. Cannot cross it at all. Yeah, you can get outside following that path. But so far I haven't found a way to exploit that to make some kind of escape. So basically it's useless for the moment. I'm pretty sure you're already aware, if you're a speedrunner, an Horizon speedrunner, I'm pretty sure you're already aware that you can clip with the Sunwing through like these force fields, I don't know how, shields, I don't know how to call them. But you can actually clip through them, not with the Sunwing, but further enough for you to get off the mount and cross the shields. I'm gonna show you right now what I'm talking about. I'm pushing myself up with R1, so my Sunwing is always pushing up because of the angle of the shield. That's why I want to squeeze myself in the angle between the shield and like the roof or the ceiling or whatever, and try to push myself further enough to get off the Sunwing. I push myself in front of it and I move my camera this way, and as you can see, the head of the Sunwing is really crossing. You see? It's already clipping through it. And if I get off in the right time, I can clip through the wall. I messed up. Push up. And I can get off from here. And I cross the shield. You see? Now this door is supposed to be open at the end of the quest, but now it's locked. And that proves you that you can clip through shields using the Sunwing. And invisible walls as well. I mean, not every invisible wall is the same. For example, the one from the greenhouse, I have never been able to clip through it. So I guess there's a catch on some kind of invisible walls that you can cross, and some invisible walls that you can't. But most of them, if there's an invisible wall, you can clip through it. Literally clip, but because as you said in the first example, the Sunwing can't cross the invisible wall. But if you keep pushing, eventually it will cross. So that's a Ghost Sunwing. You can clip through solid objects, you can clip through walls, you can clip through shields, you can clip through the ground, you can clip through the ceiling, you can actually clip through the tower at the Burning Shores and get inside before killing the frog. It's useless, but that proves that you can do a lot of stuff with these kind of things. It's just that I haven't found some use cases for this yet. That's the key word, yet. So even if they are useless things right now, something might change in the future. You never know, right? You never know. And I think that's all the ways I know how to clip through things. I hope that I'm not forgetting anything. I think I'm not forgetting anything. If I'm forgetting something, I'm just gonna add it to the video. But yeah, that's it. It's how you turn Aloy into a ghost.